Okay, COSM got the pullback that we were looking for, but what could be happening for the following sessions? Well, let's go ahead and validate now. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again on this happy Monday. This is ARCa coming at you with a COSM technicals and raw price action thread of analysis. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community and Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right into the charts. Okay, guys, so this is the bi-daily chart that we've been looking at for quite some time. It's the broadening descending wedge, right? So the reason why I'm bringing up this chart first is because on our last video thread, we actually noticed that we had shooting star printed on the bi-daily chart here. And as you can see, we have started that downside movement, right? So very interesting print here on the bi-daily. I understand we still got about 16 hours and 45 minutes to close this candle here, which is literally forever, right? But it's interesting that there is the shape of a spinning top doji, which is usually an indecision candle. It's known as an indecision candle, or a battle or a tie between the bulls and the bears, if you will. Okay, so this is a pretty good signal here, since the retail and sentiment is still very positive on COSM. All right, so let's go ahead and now move on to the next chart to see where we pulled back to in respects to our levels from our previous thread of analysis. Okay, so yes, we did pull back to that, very close to that 1.618 where we were talking about. This is the box that we drew the last time, right? And this box right over here is actually, I believe it's playing with a few gap ranges right here. So this is the daily gap, which we used today, absolutely a form of resistance before a continuation to the way down. And then the range that we were looking at between the 1.272 and a 1.618 were absolutely used as well. Okay, so now that let's go back into that 12-hour, right? So that support that we found as well was what was through the means of this 50-day simple moving average, and the resistance was found, of course, by the 10-day simple moving average. So the this thing is still playing through the rules of the playbook. You know what I mean? So it's still trading as per the traditional set of rules. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about was that there is a slight bit of weakness in volatility versus momentum. So let's just go ahead and expand our volatility here. This does not mean that this is a full-on reversal. It could mean that it's a temporary pullback. First of all, we do have that moving average right below us, and please notice that we have used that volatility component, the spectrum line here. We have used the moving average as a form of support. Okay, so it could be that we're just doing this bounce thing all the way up to what we want to do is get up to this area here, and if it requires for us to bounce just like the natural ebb and flow of a market cycle, then yes, let's go ahead and do that, right? But let's just go ahead and minimize this and take a look at momentum now, because this is another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. So I am noticing here that we are in an overbought percentile, and we have started to pivot or notch, right? So there is some weakness coming in, but it's obviously, it's in respects to the pullback that we faced today. So it's only natural for the momentum to kind of pivot, to start losing its bull strength, right? But again, that doesn't mean that that it's over, right? It just means that it's moving along the waves of the market cycles, right? So now let's go ahead and move on to the RSI. But first, we're going to touch on another way of looking at volatility versus momentum. So volatility here represented by the Bollinger Bands on the Crypstex ARC-Series Enhanced MACD. And momentum represented by the average from the MACD indicator. Okay, so this also comes with bull and bear signals, right? So what I wanted to touch on here with you was, yes, the fact that we did absolutely have a full-on contraction phase right over here, and then we started expanding to a huge upside move. That's great, but momentum is starting to pivot towards the downside, which is absolutely in accordance with the manual momentum that I usually use, right? Like this one here. So it is starting to show that weakness, but we are still fully expanded here in volatility, or the Bollinger Bands. So what this could mean is that there could be potential short-term downside. It could, I don't see this being as a full-on reversal, and let's just go ahead and see what I mean by that. But we're going to open up a multi-pane here so that we can see all of the time frames of the RSI, okay, because this is in fact very important for us to take a look at. So just like always, we're going to start off with that immediate short-term time frame, 30-minute, and we're going to move along the time frames as such. Okay, so immediate short-term time frame, 30-minute, is suggesting a continuation to the upside. We have found that bounce and that support from the 14-day simple, so which is very good. Now the bi-hourly time frame is suggesting a downside continuation, but please notice that the pivot is not so significant like this pivot here. It is losing a little bit of that bear strength in the immediate short term, right? So now let's continue on with the analysis. So this is the 4-hour RSI suggesting a continuation to the downside. Nonetheless, this is pretty strong, and this is where I'm starting to notice that it is a temporary pullback. The daily time frame has that 14-day simple moving average and the gravitational zone from the bear weakness percentile. Okay, so the bear weakness percentile has that gravitational zone here and here, just like any other time frame. Okay, so what that means is that we're going to be using the 14-day simple represented by this pink line as a form of support alongside the gravitational zone from the bear weakness. Okay, so we can actually find support 2 times, right? 2 times in one, and then bounce to the upside. So this is very good. Now the 3-day time frame is suggesting downside continuation, but please notice that that 14-day simple is right below us. We have crossed above it now, which is bullish, so we can use it as a form of support before a bounce. Okay, and let's move on to the 5-day actually. So let's see what the 5-day has to show us, if it just gets to load any day. All right, perfect. Okay, so the 5-day is now even yet lesser support for the bears. Okay, so and it has used that 5-day, 14-day simple moving average as a form of support. Okay, so this is, if it does face a downside continuation, it would be very, very gradual before it's corrected in respects to the influence from the shorter term time frame RSI. Okay, you guys, but yeah, if we're looking at a retracement here, then we may be able to continue on this range here. So this is yet again another type of pensive action that we're looking at. Maybe some sideways consolidation, price action within the range of about 605 to about 570 at the very lowest, right? Of course, we still have that SMA 10 on the daily down here at 525, but I'm not sure that we have the liquidity to reach all the way down to these areas here. Of course, I'm not. I'm not a magician. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't really tell these things. You know what I mean? But what I can say is that based on the indications of the momentum and volatility, it looks like we're about to enter a consolidation phase. And this is likely in respects to something of a fundamental mean, right? So there could be some type of news or something coming up. I mean, I can see the pensiveness in the I don't even know if that's a word, right? I can see the asset being pensive, and it shows right in the psychology here. But with that said, you guys, I just want to go ahead and encourage you to send me an email if you are interested in acquiring any of those the Crypstex indicators, right? We can go ahead and go over the subscription packages, and we will touch bases on that. Please refer to the links in the description below, because you'll find Twitter and Discord there as well. Okay, you guys. So and do not fall for the comments in the comments below. Do not fall for the WhatsApps and the helplines and the text me. That's not me. Okay, you guys. I will never share my contact information like that, and know that I will not reach you first. Okay, okay, you guys, so that's going to do it for the video. With that said, I wish you well, a very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.